Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the Four Horsemen. Greetings, old school magic players. Welcome to another episode of the Four Horsemen. In tonight's video, we're going to be covering Four Horsemen Old School Magic Tournament number 21, Wild Wild West group matches. Tournament 21 is running now through June 22nd. And the Wild Wild West was a return to the original Four Horsemen when we launched with the early days with a unique and differentiated banned and restricted list. Four Horsemen Old School Magic is the only old school magic group that focuses exclusively on Arabian Nights, Antiquities, Legends, and the Dark, the first four original expansions of Magic the Gathering. Check us out at fourhorsemenmagic.com. We feature some great prizes, including our first place prize, Kenmire Jr. Guardian Beast Purple Moonlight playmat, along with some great top semi-finalists prizes for our card giveaways. These are custom-made cards by our players, and we mail these out to our semi-finalists. And for our first place winners, you can get this Kenmire Jr. Guardian Beast Purple Moonlight playmat featuring all of Ken's famous characters. Really cool mat, unique just to the Four Horsemen. For our banned and restricted list, this event is an original return to the Wild Wild West of the Four Horsemen, and very limited restricted and banned list, taking us back to the early days when we launched in June 2022. I am joined here tonight with my friend and co-host, Tim Kincaid. Tim, how's it going?
Hey, Chad. Good evening. It's going well. What's up? And what's up, fellow old schoolers?
Yeah, what's up, old schoolers? Thanks for joining me tonight, Tim, and thanks to all of our viewers for joining us. We're going to jump right into the decks tonight. We've got group matches, and so these are folks that were paired up in, I think we had 6 groups of 6 players for Tournament 21, and we're going to start off with Harvey Bunda's Juned Warchief deck. Tim, you've had a chance to kind of glance at the deck photos. Let's dig into Harvey's deck here.
John, that's the red, black, green. Wow, it looks like it's mostly red base, right? Because the ball lightnings are right in the middle, the triple red, right? So heavy red.
Yeah.
I see an altered Kurt Ape. That's a cool looking altered Kurt Ape at the bottom.
Yeah, he did some custom. Harvey's kind of a bit of an artist and a musician, and he made some custom paintings for his own Kurt Apes here. If anybody's wondering what those cards are there in the middle, looks like it's is that like a priestess, or what is that?
It looks like a barbarian, a female barbarian, with like a tank top on and a giant axe dripping blood, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
It doesn't look ape-like, but I like it. It's still a neat altar.
Cool.
So looking at his deck, what I see, Chad, is he's all in on the burn. He's got the chain lightning, the bloodlust. He's got the elves to power out, help his mana. Gives him the double black for his obulettes. He looks like he's trying to dip into black mainly. It's not really for the Jism. He has a Jism, but mainly just to be able to remove big creatures and are removed from the game with Obulette and Demonic Torment. So that's his, like, I can kill your big creatures because Chain Lightning is going to kill the small creatures.
Yeah, he's got some good offense and defense. Chain Lightnings, you're right, will take out other players' Kurt Apes and Scavenger Folks and whatnot. He's actually got quite a bit of removal, right? Because he's also got 2 Falling Stars thrown in there, the 4 Oubliettes, and the Demonic Torment. So he can disable a lot of his opponent's offense and defense.
Yeah, and the land, I'm thinking, what does he gain from being in the Wild West format where nothing is really restricted anymore, except for Loa and a few other cards. But it looks like he has, for his lands, am I seeing 2 strip mines and 2 Mishras, or what has he got behind the Jund War Chief?
Yeah, he's just got one, looks like one factory down there, one strip mine, a Mazavith, a Hammerheim, and a couple of City of Brass, and then it's dual lands.
Okay, so it looks like he didn't really tap into the you can play 4 of this or 4 of that, 4 strip, 4 factory, 4 maze, 4 sylvan libraries. He's just got one of each still, so he's not gained a lot, but his deck is still a clever, strong-looking aggro with removal deck.
Well, he's got triple red requirements. He's got double black requirements. So I could see how he might be a little weary on the mana base. It also doesn't look like he's running Blood Moon, right? I don't see it in his board.
I don't think he can. It's like you said, he still needs to get double black and green. And yeah, that's probably why he's only running 1 factory, 1 strip, 1 maze, because of the mana requirements.
Yeah.
But it's still a powerful looking suite of aggro with removal.
I like the Bloodlust too. Bloodlust is real sneaky, and if you can get in there early with a couple of Bloodlust hits, and then you got the Chain Lightnings, and then you've got, he's got a few flyers with those 3 fire sprites up there. You can get through, and then you come in with a mid to late game Ball Lightning as a surprise, and try and hit in with a Ball Lightning and an Urnum, and you can do a lot of damage.
The fire sprite is cool, right? It can hit. The fire sprite's cool because it helps fix his mana. That gives him that red, that extra red, or even that 3rd red he needs for that Ball Lightning with the fire sprite. So that's cool. Plus, it's a flying that he can just throw a Bloodlust on and be like, take 5 in the air.
Yeah. His big risk would be things like the Abyss and Moat, and maybe even something like Mazavith, since it's unrestricted. Also,
yeah, he's got 1 Rook Egg, which is kind of good again. No, I guess. He's got the 1 Rook Egg as a flyer and the 3 fire sprites to get around Moat. Looks like his deck just curves out at 4. He has 4 4-drops, a Rook Egg, Jism, 2 Urnums. So he's really aggressive with. It's really just a mana curve deck.
Yeah. Really cool brew by Harvey, and Harvey's been playing in some of the early Four Horsemen events, and he started a band and been making albums and doing music stuff. Jumped back in for the spring after not having played Four Horsemen in quite a while, so it's really cool to see him brewing up this deck. The only other thing I'd say is, with the 4 Curd Apes, the 2 City of Brass, the Jusums and Urnums, City in a Bottle is a thing in the Wild Wild West, so he's gonna have to watch out for City in a Bottle. In a lot of the players' boards, they threw in an artifact blast here and there to be able to deal with things like City in a Bottle and Triskelion.
Very true. At least he has quite a bit of artifact hate in the board. What is the 1 green card above the Inferno in the sideboard? It looks like it costs 4 mana. Is that a Stormseeker?
It looks like he's got Desert Twisters. He's got 2 Desert Twisters, 3 Crumbles, 2 Shatter Storms, and it looks like there's 1 Stormseeker, an Inferno, and 2 Pyrotechnics.
Okay, so he's got a nice little burn suite in the sideboard as well.
Yeah, and I like the fact he's put those Desert Twisters in case he runs into, Moat or things like that. But when it comes to the Abyss, that can also be a big problem. But there's easier ways to deal with Enchant Worlds than Desert Twister. But it's just a good all utility that can take out a problematic card.
Very true. Solid deck, really solid, nice sideboard too.
All right, so that's Harvey Bunda's Jund War Chief for Tournament 21, 4 Horsemen. Where is my other deck? I'm looking.
Is it JS?
Yeah, we need JS's deck. I thought I dropped his deck in here. 1 second. I thought I had it dropped in. Give me just a second and I'll fix that. JS has been playing with us for quite a while. He's very seasoned. It's a very seasoned Four Horsemen player at this point. And I need to reshare with you, Tim. 1 second. There we go. All right. So for JS's deck, JS is running straight up red-green with a very funky splash of white in the board. JS calls this burning down the house.
Huh. Interesting. Mono red. He's
Well,
really
it's got
gone
splash
deep
of
into-
green. He's not mono red 100% main. He does have the Sylvans in the main, and then he's splashed Urnums and Concordance and Divine Offerings with Savannas in the board.
Yeah, Divine Offering is just such a good card. If if he goes against another red deck, like an ATOG deck or something, and he needs to gain life and blow up artifacts, that's pretty big if they're playing artifacts, because he's playing Inferno and does 6 damage to yourself. So a nice outlet, gain some life if he needs to. It looks like he just has the green. He really just wants to have like one green source out of those 6 green sources. It's 4 taigas, 2 forests. Just one green source to be able to pump his Kurt Ape or play that early Sylvan.
Yeah. And
oh, I see something else, Chad. And then he's like, if I don't need the Blood Moons, I can board in the Savannas to have another more green sources, and board in Urnum Gens or Concordance.
yeah, that's right. He's got those extra Savannas to give him the extra green mana, since he's only got the 4 main deck Taigas, and also gives him access to Divine Offerings, although he's only running 3 Divine Offerings. And certainly cards like Scavenger Folk and Crumble, which both only cost 1 green, were cards I was running in my deck and found really solid. But Divine Offering is even better because it's like Crumble, but, in your favor.
Right. Divine Offering is a lot better than Crumble if your mana base can support it. I am kind of surprised to see 0 Cities of Brass, though, since he's trying to do 2 colors and possibly a third after Sideboard. Even 1 or 2 cities, but maybe he's like, I'm worried about Cities of Bottle, or I don't want to take the damage, but still.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other problem is Blood Moon. He's running Blood Moon himself, so he's only got those 2 basic forests up there, and those are going to be turned into, all his dual lands will be turned into mountains. So I'm not sure about the strategy of running Savannas and Blood Moon if it turns off your green.
I think he probably brings that in when he doesn't need Blood Moons.
Got it. Good point.
Yeah, against maybe other mono or just 2 color decks, and he'll just, like I said, bring in Urnums or something, or Divine Offerings and Urnums in place of Blood Moon, and bring in those extra 4 dual lands. One thing that I really like about JS's deck here, I love the way he's got the Yidwin Ifrit, the 3/6 6 toughness creature for 3 red. He's got the Yidwin, and he's got the Disharmonies and the Ruck Eggs and the 3 Diamond Valleys. I just love those cards: Disharmony Diamond Valley, Yidwin Diamond Valley, and Ruck Egg Diamond Valley.
Yeah. The other thing that I like about this deck is he is including things like main deck, Maze of Ith, the factories, the strip mines. The Diamond Valley is really, really, really solid with cards like Rook Egg and also Disharmony. He's got those Disharmonies over there on the left. I was also running a Disharmony Valley deck way back when and had a lot of fun with it. It can be really sneaky to steal your opponent's dudes and then gain life off of them with those Diamond Valleys.
Yeah, I almost feel like Jean Simon could have ran more Disharmony. It's such a good card.
Yeah, it's really sneaky, and also more if you're going to go heavy. Disharmony Rook Valley, you could go all in on Rook Egg and maybe focus the strategy a little more. Right.
He's got a lot of 1-ofs and 2-ofs, which I get it. He wants to have answers to all kinds of different things, like the fissure, the shatterstorms, the falling star, the eternal flame, the inferno. They're all situational, 2 power techniques. It can be a blowout, or it can be kind of just an expensive burn spell against certain decks. It
Yeah.
can be really good or not so great. But he has like these one of two ofs, because sometimes they just help swing a board state right in your favor. They do very situational things, like falling star. It's great against little guys. Shatterstorm's good against artifacts, right? And fissure, the problematic lands or big threats. But one thing it does, like you said, with only 2 rook eggs or 2 of it can do a lot of inconsistent things at times.
Yeah. Well, and for the mid to late game, since he is, doubling down on Blood Moon with all 4 Blood Moon maxed out, mid to late game, if he's got, Factory or Strip Mine or, dual lands, or even Maze of Ith, Diamond Valley, all these non-basic lands, those can become mountains late game, and then he can tap into that triple mana for, Ball Lightning or the Yidwin of Freet.
Yeah, you're right. He can make those Diamond Valleys or those mazes tap for mana to cast the more expensive spells in his curve if he needs to.
But here's the trick there. The Yidwin of Freet is very good early as an attacker, because it's basically a 3/6 attacker. It's not a good blocker, but you got to have triple red to get it out early. So it could be very difficult for him to get triple red early to play that Yidwin without having to also play Blood Moon. But when he has to play Blood Moon, then he doesn't get the maximum value out of, Maze of Ith and Diamond Valley. Diamond Valley is really good with the Yidwin, because you can sack that Yidwin and gain 6 life, which is fantastic. But if you have Blood Moon, you're not going to have that combo.
Right. I think it's okay to run Blood Moon with some of those non-basics, because, if you don't draw the Blood Moon, those non-basics are very good in and of themselves. But there are going to be some matchups where he has the Blood Moon, and it's better for him to turn off his special lands and just to screw his opponent's mana over.
Yeah.
So that works. But one thing I am seeing is 22 mana producing lands, only 22, and there's some expensive cards here.
Yeah.
A lot of 3-4 drops, even 5 or more.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of them cost double and triple red. So, there's definitely some vulnerabilities in the strategy of the brew here. The Yetis cost 4 and double red. The Yidwins cost 3 triple red. But if he can get a Blood Moon early and survive on Factory and Maze of Ith and Chain Lightning and Curdape while he gets his board established, I can see how his mid to late game strategy could work really well. I do worry about an early Moat. It's possible to play a turn 3 Moat or turn 3 Abyss. Either Moat or Abyss would really be a problem if your opponent doesn't have mountains. But if you play the Blood Moon, then Moat's not a big deal, because you've got... well, that's not actually true. He doesn't have flyers other than his rook eggs. So Moat could be a big problem here for this deck, because there's not much flying option. He'd have to rely on his long-term direct damage.
Yeah, I think you're right. It might have been nicer to see some more rooks against the Moats, and he obviously has the concordance to combat Abyss decks. But
yeah,
I'm just thinking, like, with this mana base, maybe you choose just Diamond Valley or just Maze or just like a couple of each and play more mountains.
Yeah.
Because 22 mana lands with 6 colorless, that's 3 strip and 3 Mishras, that leaves you with 16 colored producing mana.
It's very, very slim.
It could be very tough to get the red requirements.
Yeah, that's way under. That's a really good point. And then the other thing is, when you're running Strip Mine, if you have to use those Strip Mines, they take your mana count down too. So, in some of the other games, it's possible you could have -4 Strip Mine throughout the game on your side and -4 Strip Mine from your opponent using theirs. So you could have a -8 mana drop over the course of your game if everybody gets their strips and uses them.
Yeah, I think JS is fine if he really wants to see that early Sylvan. I think if he gets a turn 2 Sylvan down and a turn 1 Curdape, his deck could do some really good things.
Yeah. All right, really interesting brew by Jean-Simon Jalbert, one of our favorite long-term Four Horsemen old school players. Burning down the house. All right, let's get over to the match. Okay, I'm going to share this with you while we're watching here, Tim. There we go. And Tim, if you want to, you can do full screen on the video there.
Got it, thanks.
All right, we're going to be playing back at 1/2 speed. We've got JS on the right here, and we got Harvey on the left with some really killer Arabian Nights backed magic booster pack card protectors, card sleeves.
Those are sweet.
And a Mirror Universe playmat. Harvey's one of the only other people I know that has. I have that mat. I bought it when the Foglio guys did their Kickstarter back in the day. So cool to see Harvey sporting that mat.
Yeah, I tried to get you to sell one to me.
Yeah, those are hard to find.
I like it. It's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so JS starts off just with a mountain, and Harvey starts off Hammerheim and just chain lightning to the face. That's interesting. You know, everybody's playing Card Ape, so I don't know. I might hold on to that chain lightning.
Yeah,
there it is.
That is an interesting choice. Yeah.
There it is. There's the Card Ape, but no forest for JS. Notice here, JS is already mana screwed, just like you were saying, Tim. He's running such a low number of lands. He's sitting on one mountain here. Oh, there he goes. But looky here, it's a Diamond Valley. No,
Diamond
does
Valley's
not
not
tap
a
for
mana
mana.
producing land. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one reason I think that Harvey fired off his chain is because he saw JS with a mountain in play. So he thought, ooh, I need to start casting these chain lightnings before my opponent has double red.
Right, that's a good point.
And just the same reason that JS just fired his off. They don't want them to be chained back at their creatures like
Right. That's a very good point. So JS is just only able to hit in for one here, but now Demonic Torment coming down on a 1/1 Card Ape. I don't know, man. I might want to save that Demonic Torment for something a little heavy duty, right? Urnums, you don't know what all's in there, right?
Right, yeah. And I like the way that JS didn't just immediately sacrifice that to the Valley. He's like, I can make this guy have 3 toughness and gain more life later or do something else.
Yeah, that's smart. He did chain lightning that Elves of Deep Shadow to keep Harvey off of 4 mana. And here comes another one.
Okay, we got double red.
Okay, so now JS gets a Fellwar Stone. That's going to help him ramp on mana a lot, which he really needs. And now that Fellwar can tap for any color he needs, which is fantastic.
It's such a good feeling when your opponent has City of Brass and you play Fellwar Stone, right?
Yes, yeah. It's an answer for a lot of problems. Chain Lightning coming down, but meanwhile, Harvey's got double red up, and he's going to bounce that Chain Lightning back. I wonder if JS thought about that ahead of time.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see the chain there, but maybe he wants to keep him off 4 mana because he thinks...
Well, JS can bounce it back too, right? So...
Oh, so they each chain each other. Well, then that's fine. That works.
Yeah, so he's bouncing it back, but interesting that he targeted JS, not targeting the ape, since he's not much of a threat.
The ape's already tormented with the enchantment.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's taken out with the demonic torment, so not a problem.
Actually, that chain seemed good. He's like, I don't want you to get to 4 and play that Urnum Gen, so they both bounced it at each other. That worked.
And speaking of Urnum, here he comes. Harvey's done really good on his mana, even though he's lost both of his elves. He's able to hit his 4th land here, no problem.
I love JS's high bird's eye view camera. You could like see everything from there. You can see like when his hand would go off out of view of most cameras to get his drink, you can see what he's reaching for, you know, instead of just seeing shadows and wondering what they're grabbing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's got a really nice camera view. I've updated the rules doc to encourage all players to try and have a broader, wider view where you can see your hands at all times, but a lot of players have this straight top-down thing that's not ideal.
So, did he just block that ball lightning with his Urnum?
It looks like he just took it, right?
Well, the first Urnum is in Harvey's graveyard now. He put it in the graveyard when he played the ball.
Oh, he played another Urnum. Yeah, it looks like he did block it and took 2 damage and trample.
Yeah, he just took 4/5 with blocking the 6. He took 1 from that ball lightning, right? And then
he should have taken.
I don't want to take 6. I just want to take 1.
Yeah, he just took 1, but he lost his Urnum. That seems. I mean, you're saving 5 damage. I guess that's probably worth it, depending on where you're at in the game.
Maybe he thinks I'm playing against a red deck and he's got a Diamond Valley. I've got more Urnum gens. Maybe he has a couple more in his hand. Who knows?
Yeah, Harvey's not playing Diamond Valley, and what we've seen is there's the Blood Moon. That's going to be a problem for Harvey here.
Now, I'm kind of surprised. So, Demonic Torment, does that nullify that Crit 8 from blocking, or can he still block? Is it like pacifism where he...
I think it just says that it does no damage when it attacks.
But what about when can he block?
You could look it up on Gather real quick.
Yeah, I'll check real quick.
Yeah, so... Harvey's attacking with the Urnum here, and JS is going to block with the Curt Ape, the old chump block. Now, it's a good thing Harvey has his Urnum in play, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be able to play it without a basic forest, and I don't think his chances of drawing into one of those are pretty slim right now.
Right. So I did look up Demonic Torment. Target creature deals no damage during combat, and the creature cannot attack. So the creature is just a blocker that does no damage. So he's just like, I'll just chump. Gain 4 life from this Urnum hit. And so JS, he flips cards face down that are just non-basic lands, correct? Because now they're just mountains.
Yeah, it's an easy way to just show that, hey, remind yourself and everybody else that you've only got mountains now.
Mm-hmm. If JS only could have had that Blood Moon hit before Urnum Jin came down, then Harvey would not be casting.
He would have been in a much better position here if that was the case, right?
Right, but now he's going to have a tough time dealing with that Urnum. He needs that 1 fissure, or what else can he play to kill it? Oh, he's got the Chain and the Falling Star. That would work.
Chain and Falling Star, good combo.
I was wondering why JS flipped on the Ape and the Urnum. I was like, he flipped on 2 cards down there. It's like, okay, that's why he wanted to chain it after he flipped on it.
Yeah. Wow, it's pretty close, 4-7. I mean, these guys are really tight in there on the life count right now.
Yeah, thing about Harvey's deck, he can still cast Ball Lightnings and lots of burn spells, Bloodlust, Chain Lightnings, even with just red mana.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like at this point, whoever gets the next Ball Lightning wins, right? Ooh, there's a basic
was really
forest.
Strong for JS. He only has 2 forests in the deck to cast that Sylvan right now.
Yeah, he got it. And he got the Sylvan out, which is going to really kind of let him dig. That's really good for him right now.
Yeah, he should be able to pull this out unless we see like Ball Lightning Bloodlust from Harvey.
Yeah, and both these guys got to be really careful about playing Chain Lightning now because of the bounce back potential and all the red mana.
Mm-hmm.
So who's on 4 and who's on 7 here?
That's a good question. I was thinking JS is on 7.
Fisher. Wow.
Fisher for the 1/1/8.
Fisher on the 1/1/8. Wait, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yes. I mean, you would think JS is going to play a creature of his own here, like a 3/6 or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his Yidwin of Freets. He's got Ball Lightnings. He's got Rook Eggs, and there is a Pyrotechnics. So, yeah, JS is on 4, and Harvey was on 7, bringing Harvey down to 3, and he's in Chain
Maybe
Lightning.
he didn't know he was going to draw that Pyrotechnics, but it seems like if he had it, he would have just hit the 8 for 1 and Harvey for 3.
Yeah,
and held that fissure.
That Sylvan Library probably let him dig and grab it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
okay. Well, actually, he didn't want to. JS was at 4. I'm sorry, not 7. So he didn't want to drop to. He didn't want to drop the 3 in case he had a chain lightning.
And there is the ball. It's
the
exactly
ball.
what I was saying. Whoever gets ball lightning first is going to win on that one.
I thought JS had that with the Sylvan. I'm like, Harvey has to have a ball lightning or JS is good.
Yeah. All right, let's take a pause here and let's jump over to... Whoa, let's jump over to the slides here.
Ball lightning is kind of hard to deal with. There aren't a ton of instant spells that can stop him, you know, unless you have a creature to block or some kind of first striker is useful against him. But this Harmony just seems so good. You know, when you can play 3 Diamond Valleys, like I said, I would almost just run 4 Disharmonies.
Yeah.
It stops the ball lightning dead in its tracks.
Okay, so yes, that's right. Since JS lost that match, let's start with his deck first. What do you think on sideboarding here, Tim?
See, I think he needs Urnums of his own to combat his opponent's Urnums.
He definitely does. Yeah.
I don't think he wants Shatterstorms against a Jund deck.
No, he's probably not going to need the Shatterstorms. Now, these guys don't get to see each other's deck photos when they're in group matches, so he can only go by what he saw. But yeah, he's probably going to be able to pull out those Shatterstorms. If he puts in the Urnums, though, does he have enough mana to a green mana to power him out? I think he's got to put in the Savannahs, right?
I think he's better off going with his own mazes and Diamond Valleys in this matchup than playing the Blood Moon.
The Blood Moon's useless here because he's playing against a red-green deck, so he's going to run into, you know, a lot of red eventually. It's not going to give you that much of an advantage unless your opponent has only dual lands early. So yeah, I would sideboard out the 4 Blood Moons, and I'd sideboard in the 3 Urnums, and sideboard out the 2 Shatterstorms, sideboard in 3 of those Savannahs, and what else does he take out here?
That's 6 cards he's bringing in 7, so he would need to take out probably just one mountain for the support.
Take out. Well, he needs mana though. You pointed out earlier his mana count that actually taps for mana is extremely low. I want to bring all 4 of those Savannahs in just to get my
maybe just board out a strip mine or something. He's not really. There's no problematic lands he saw that he needs to really strip.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really see anything else I'd want to take out. Maybe the Inferno. Would you leave the Inferno in? Your opponent's playing Ball Lightning, so I mean, there's a conceivable scenario where you'd there's a conceivable scenario here where I don't know.
I would still leave it in. It can still be so good with like a Ruck Egg or something, and it can kill his opponent's Urnum Gens if he gets behind. But he has Diamond Valley, so I think Inferno is good with that. It's like you said, I would just board out the Blood Moons and the 2 Shatterstorms, and then that last land just swap for one of his colorless lands or something.
Yeah, okay. Well, so let's take a look at Harvey's deck. What are you going to sideboard in if you're Harvey here?
Well, you don't need any of that artifact hate. I don't really like Stormseeker in this matchup, or Inferno is, let me think. That won't even kill the 6 toughness Yidwin, right? Or does it do 6 damage to all creatures? Or?
Yeah, so it would take out Urnums and Yidwin and potentially, if he plays a Ball Lightning. But you gotta have what, 7 mana to cast that bad boy?
Yeah, I would have almost. I think he needs a way just to kill non-basics. Like he's gonna need to kill Mazavith and Diamond Valley, I think, in this matchup. And he only has 1 strip mine, but the Desert Twister is the only card that can do that. It seems like if he just had more strip mines, it would have been easier in the board. But I think he boards out the Crumble, perhaps. Would JS have a Felwar? Like, I would just let him keep it. Well, that could kill factories though. If he knows he didn't see factories yet. But
Yeah, I don't really think that there's a ton of great sideboard cards here. You know, Factory is a thing in everyone's deck, so he could potentially put in those crumbles in in case JS animates his factory, and that could take out the factory. But I mean, I kind of just want those extra pyrotechnics, right?
Yeah, the extra burn is good, just the reach. But I don't know. He didn't see much from JS's deck. I don't think he knows anything about, he has Yidwins or he has Urnums possibly coming in or Mazes of it. Like, I don't think he knows any of that. So at this point, he's just kind of in the dark. So if you're him, like, he didn't even see Mishra's Factory. He's probably just going to board in the 2 pyrotechnics at this point, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, I would want those 2 pyrotechnics, and maybe Falling Star is not the best here. It's really only going to take out the Curd Apes. So if he was going to sideboard something out, he could either take out a couple of the Demonic Torments or the Falling Stars. The Falling Stars give the advantage to tap your creature, though. And if you have 6 mana, you could Falling Star and then play Ball Lightning. So I might just take out 2 of those Demonic Torments, put in the 2 Pyrotechnics, and call it a day.
Yeah, that works. He really didn't see a lot here, so he probably wouldn't know what he's doing yet. So
yeah. Okay, so let's switch back over to the match here. All right, there we go. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Looks like JS is pulling out the blood moons on the camera.
Yeah, look at there. Giving away a little info, which is good,
he
right?
really needs to lean in on those Mazes of Ith against the Ball Lightning deck and on those Diamond Valleys against a red burn deck to gain the life.
Yeah. JS's camera view here is really, it's really transparent. Maybe a little too much, right? He might want to tilt his hand forward a little bit, so you're not seeing exactly what he's boarding in and out.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here.
Sounds good.
All right, the guys got their piles ready to go. I'm sure JS will take the play here. He needs mana early. I hope he put those Savannahs in, and I hope he took the put the Urnums in and took those Blood Moons out.
The Blood Moon was almost golden though last game, but it was a little slow. But like I said, it's the trying to mana screw your opponent with just all red and seeing that his opponent has Ball Lightnings and Chain Lightnings and Bloodlust, like,
yeah,
I just don't know if the Blood Moon plan is good enough here. I think, like we said, it's better to do the alternative.
Yeah, I think it's better to just get those Urnums in there. They're going to be good on offense and defense, and he's so short on mana. He's going to need those extra Savannahs anyways. All right, what are the guys doing here? Whoa, JS just went totally green. Green screen.
This is the part where he has the perfect starting hand. Okay, nice one, JS.
Taiga Curd Ape on turn 1. Forest Sylvan Library on turn 2. All right, Mountain and Curd Ape. Oh, it's Harvey that's got the Taiga Curd Ape.
Taiga's even better. Oh, there it is. Sylvan. No Sylvan. Okay. And no Chain Lightning. Oh, Harvey's got all the goods.
Yeah, Harvey's coming out real strong here.
He's got the goods, yeah.
Chain Lightning.
And it hurts JS that he didn't have double red there.
Yeah, there he really wanted that Taiga or another
the
Mountain.
Taiga, yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ouch is right.
Oh,
yeah.
no. And now he's stuck on 2 mana.
Yeah, this is where you wanted to see your Savannah pop up or something, I'm wondering if maybe he didn't go the Savannah Urnham route and instead maybe... Oh, he's throwing his hand down in disgust. Yeah, this is the problem you pointed out, Tim, early. The mana on JS's deck is extremely problematic, and we're seeing it surface very painfully here for JS.
Oh, good.
There he goes.
Yes.
So turn 4, he finally gets land number 3. Or are we on turn 5 here? JS started out, so I think it's turn 5 for JS. He missed 2 land drops.
And he left the Blood Moons. Okay.
Oh, look at that. So he left the Blood Moon in. Now, here's an example of why that's not a great idea. Harvey's got a forest.
He's got ball lightnings, yeah, so it doesn't stop him.
It doesn't stop him, right. So this is exactly what we're talking about. It's just not ideal to leave the Blood Moons in when you're up against another red deck.
Let's see what he can do. Yidwin. Oh, wait. He has a forest.
But how's he doing that? Yeah, he can't play Yidwin there. Okay, yeah, he's figuring that out.
He's thinking it churned on triple red, but yeah, it wasn't Taiga, so.
Oh no, Harvey's got Blood Moon.
The Ball Lightning.
Yeah,
the Ball Lightning is really the best card he can draw if JS is. Oh, he's got the Disharmony. Oh, take the Ball Lightning and kill the Kurde. Come on, JS.
He's reading it.
That's a sick play. Take the Ball Lightning, untap it. Wait, whoa. What? Did he not know he could block the 8?
Yeah, he's got it.
He did, yeah.
And too bad the trample damage doesn't happen when blocking, right?
It doesn't, but you know what? I'm so happy with the 2-for-1 there.
Yeah,
who cares?
That's where Disharmony really shines. Is
like I said, just play 4 Disharmony in JS's deck. It's so good. He's playing 3 Diamond Valley, and I think it's just if you're gonna play mostly mono red. Yeah, he has a few green. It's probably the best removal in the format for a red based deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Even better than Fissure because it was a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and when you've got things like Rook Egg, the Rook Egg Diamond Valley strategy is very powerful too. But JS did not go all in on those strategies. He split his strategy up amongst other things and put Yidwin and other things in there.
Yeah, there you go, JS.
All right, there's that Rook.
Oh, Harvey got his basic forest again this game.
Wow. Yeah.
I think he only had 2 forests as well, or did he have more?
You can see the deck photos on the website.
I'll glance at it again. That's really strong against the Blood Moon.
Well, so Blood Moon is just not doing much against Harvey, so it's been kind of a dead card. Here's a Chain Lightning for JS.
Okay, Harvey has 1 basic
Ball Lightning
and 1 basic swamp.
Wow. So that's really kind of wild that he got his 1 forest both games.
Yeah. That's impressive. So it's kind of bad luck for JS actually.
Yeah, because if Harvey only had 1 basic forest in his deck and he got it both games when JS had the Blood Moon out, that is pretty...
That's it. He blocks the Urnham and he bloodlusts the Ape and hit him for 6.
Wow.
JS is just really frustrated probably about that.
Yeah, I think I remember this match. He was really flustered and, I empathized and I think I was chatting with him in the background, but, if we go back and look at the actual decks, you pointed this out early, right? That the real challenge here is JS's mana base is not sufficient for this deck. Right?
Notice, Chad, I'm sorry to interrupt. Harvey did bring in that Desert Twisters, like I was mentioning, or like we conjectured.
Yeah.
That that's the one card that can deal with like a maze and Diamond Valley, and he did bring him in.
Yeah, but he needs double green for that, and he's only running one basic forest.
I know he couldn't have cast them, but he was extremely lucky to get that forest against JS. So that's too bad for JS. I could see why he would be frustrated at that.
Right.
Loss. So yeah, the mana base, it's tricky. It really is tricky to incorporate any other color with those heavy red casting costs.
Yeah, but you hit the nail on the head. He's only running 20 lands here that tap for mana, and then he's got the 2 Fellwar Stones, so that he's just running too slim on mana, I think, and we saw him get mana screwed both games.
Yeah, 20 lands, 2 Fellwars, and yeah, that's big. Utility.
So Harvey,
yeah, it's not a lot of mana. Yeah.
Harvey's running. What's Harvey running? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 23 lands, right? And one's a maze. So he's running 22 lands and no Fellwars. So, and only 1 forest. So I think that's pretty wild. That
it is.
That he got his forest both games, and JS got his Blood Moon.
He does have elves for mana,
but they don't tap for they don't tap for green. They only tap for black.
They don't, but I mean it's still another mana source, kind of like the Fellwar Stones.
Yeah, that's true. So he's got 22 lands and 3. So he's got 25 mana sources, whereas JS only has 20 lands and 22 mana sources total.
Yeah, 22 to 25. Plus, actually, Harvey's mana curve was significantly lower if you were to lay that out and look at his mana cost.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of 1, 2, and 3 mana costs and very few 4 costs. So he curved out a lot better. But if he hadn't gotten that forest in both matches when Blood Moon was already on the board, then he would have been in big trouble. He would have only been able to play his red spells.
Yeah, that was really fortunate for him.
Yeah.
Tough luck for JS, but nice deck for Harvey and some nice luck on his side there.
Yeah, so Harvey Bunda and his Jund Warchief takes down his 4 Horsemen Tournament 21 Wild Wild West group match. And that will do it for us for the match tonight. Tim, thanks for joining me, man. It's always a pleasure doing the commentary with you. And
it was fun to watch some Wild West shootout tonight.
Some Wild West shootout, that's right. And thanks for joining us, viewers. Check us out at 4horsemenmagic.com. We're going to be starting up Tournament 22, the Summer League, here in just a couple weeks. So join the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/4horsemenmtg. And we hope to see you guys over the summer.
Yeah, good night.
All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.